The new Dragon Ball anime is official now. We thought it was going to be Magic, but it's called Daima, coming in 2024. And here we have our first piece of merch to celebrate the new Dragon Ball anime. So get your merch right now. The Dragon Ball Daima merch line featuring Goku and the Supreme Kai are two leads in the show, and it's the first piece of merch you can get, and you can get it in multiple colors, multiple sizes, as well as other things. It's our biggest merch haul ever. 20% off right now for a limited time. You can also get pillows, you can get mouse pads, you can get hoodies. I'll leave a link down below. Get yours now, take advantage of that deal, and now let's get to the video. So yesterday afternoon at New York Comic Con, it was revealed that we're going to get a brand new Dragon Ball anime to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the manga called Dragon Ball Daima, formerly called Dragon Ball Magic. I'm going to go into all of that here today on this video, as well as discussing the meaning behind the word Daima, as well as also going over Toriyama's comments and the whole story behind what's going to happen with this series, what that we know so far. If you are new to Geekdom 101, hit the subscribe button and make sure you enable all notifications. If you're not being notified, then unsub, resub, and hit the button, the bell. That way you will get access to everything as I drop it, because we're going to be getting some more news on this anime in the coming weeks and months, and I'll of course bring you all that information like I did for Super when that was first coming out, as well as the recent movies. Now I want to first of all go over this whole name Dragon Ball Daima. So right here it states that Akira Toriyama is credited with the original work, which is Dragon Ball, the standard Gensaku credit. You know, he created the original story, he's the character designer, all that stuff, and story and character designs, and was stated by Yoko to be deeply involved beyond his usual capacity. In the trailer, all of the main characters are turned into child-sized versions of themselves. Yoko noted that Daima is a name from Toriyama himself, and that there was a long process of different ideas before finalizing it. In fact, the title was only just decided upon a few days ago. A filing with the United States Patent and Trademark Office from October 6th included the title Dragon Ball Daima along with a black and white version of the logo. Now I did show that in the stream, but I wasn't sure what that was. I thought it might have been a manga thing because it was black and white. But basically what happened was Dragon Ball Magic was the code word for the project. Kind of like how Kakarot was called Project Z or something like that. I think it was called Project Z, right? That happens a lot with some of these movies. If you remember, there were a lot of rumors about what Resurrection F was going to be called, but Dragon Ball Magic was the code word for the project internally. So when I reported it as being Dragon Ball Magic, that was the name they were going with, but that wasn't the finalized name. It is now called Dragon Ball Daima, which is actually a better name than Magic because it's more unique and thus easier to copyright and easier to, you know, it's just easier to trademark. It's a unique word. Magic is not, Daima is. It's not even a real word. In fact, Herms goes into this right here. He writes, the official translation they seem to be using for Daima is evil, but the kanji are the ones for great and demon / magic. So the kanji of it being, the kanji of the word magic being in there was always the plan. It says here, it's like Piccolo's Daimao Great Demon King, which is true. Like, a lot of these words, like, for example, Ultra Instinct in Japanese, Migate no Gokui, the mastery of self movement, it's the same idea. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same idea to where it's basically a pun that only makes sense in Japanese. Like, those of us who speak English are not going to really get the pun. You kind of have to be fluent in Japanese to get it. This is Herms' best explanation, minus, of course, the king and the same ma in Majin. So Daima is, I think, once again, a better name than just Magic. Now, moving on, I want to discuss what Toriyama himself said about this new project. Like I mentioned, this was not revealed at the Comic-Con yesterday, but Katsuyoshi Nakatsuru is involved. He is the main designer of the show. He's also a lead animator, and you saw some of Nakatsuru's cuts in that trailer. I did do a breakdown yesterday, shot by shot, of the trailer, but I focused more on story than anything involving animation. However, he's definitely there. They didn't come out and reveal that, probably because they don't think that Westerners even care. I mean, some do, but not everybody cares about that. Either way, you saw how nice it looks. It's going to be a nice thing. So let's go ahead and look at Toriyama's comments about this new show. Hello, I'm Akira Toriyama. I'm currently working on a new Dragon Ball. The title is Dragon Ball Daima. And also they said yesterday, Ioku himself said that, which is something I broke a few weeks ago, that Toriyama's much more involved. He's actually looking at scripts this time. He's actually looking at he's not writing them, but he's supervising them, which he did not do for Dragon Ball Super. Toriyama did not write a single script for Dragon Ball Super. He wrote a manuscript, and then Toei took it and expounded on it. Here, he's actually looking at each script, which is a big deal if you know Toriyama and his history. So he says here, Daima's a made-up term, which in Japanese characters would be, you know, that right there, or in English would be something like evil. Due to a conspiracy, Goku and his friends are turned small. In order to fix things, they'll head off to a new world. I was talking about how Goku and Supreme Kai are going to go to a new realm. And I'm curious because if you look at the trailer, I covered it yesterday, it does resemble the demon realm. If it's not the demon realm, it's definitely something demonic-ish. But like I said, we'll get more information. I'm gonna tell you what I think is gonna happen and what I know is gonna happen. I'll separate the two. And I know that I was told there was demons involved, but I wasn't sure what kind. So this could be a brand new thing. Moving on. Due to a conspiracy... Okay, I mentioned that part already. And he says, it's a grand adventure with intense action in an unknown and mysterious world. Then it says, since Goku has to make up for his petite size, he uses the Nioibo, says their power pole, to fight something not seen in a long time. And that's all true. We haven't seen Goku use that in a long time. We've seen Goku have it in the original poster for the Broly movie and in some of the figures and some of the art, but now Goku will be using it in battle again, and that's going to provide some new kind of fight scenes, and I'm excited for that. Even though the premise is a little bit weird with everybody being a kid again, it is a weird premise. Like, I know some people really hate that idea. It's not a reboot of GT, like I told you it wasn't going to be, but you know, it's more than just Goku. So it's definitely something that isn't going to be permanent. In GT, he was a kid forever. In this show, you know, until the end. In this show, probably not. Probably not. So he says, I came up with the story and settings as well as a lot of the designs. I'm actually putting a lot more into this than usual, which is interesting because like I told you guys a few streams ago, this is not meant to be a tribute to GT. That's not why they're doing this. It's more so a tribute to the original Dragon Ball, like the old school Kid Goku Dragon Ball Adventures, but with the new cast. So they're kind of taking elements of like, it's going to have Dragon Balls, you know, like Kid Goku aesthetic. It's going to have Dragon Ball Z's fights, you know, presumably, or Super's fights, and then that one idea from GT they're expounding upon. So it's going to be interesting, man. This is not Dragon Ball Super. I would not expect Dragon Ball Super until after this. So I said it a million times, man. Don't even wait. Don't even wait. Let's just see what they come up with. There's also a movie in the works apparently too, pre-production. So he goes on to say things will unfold that close in on the mysteries of the Dragon Ball world. I'm very curious about what he means by that. Hope you all enjoy these different from usual battles that are cute and powerful. That's from the creator Akira Toriyama. It's definitely different. This show is... When I found out about this 3 weeks ago, that Goku was going to be a kid again, just that right there, I was like, this is so outlandish. I wasn't even sure if I should even report it. I found out maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, something like that. I lost track. And I didn't think it was even true. And then things started to come out more and more. So it's just interesting that they went in this direction because I can tell you that this was not expected at all, at all. I know a lot of folks wanted Moro. Look on the bright side. You already know what happens in the Moro and Granola arcs. Here we don't know what's going to happen at all, or who the villains are, or what the outcome's going to be. We're not even sure where exactly it takes place in the timeline. So there's a lot of questions that may end up being answered next year. So anyways, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you're stopping by. And if you really appreciate the video, leave a super thanks. I would appreciate that. Thank you once again. Take care, y'all. And I will see you in the next one.